Thank you so much for coming to today's lecture. Today we are going to look into DMF or drug master file. What is a drug master file? The drug master file is a submission like new drug submission to Health Canada, like new drug application to FDA, like investigational new drug IND to FDA, similar to CTA or critical trial application. Anyways, DMF is also an application, and this is a way to send information about our drug to the regulatory authority of the country in which we would like to register the product and to sell the product in their market. So when we use DMF or drug master file, you know very well that when we start doing some studies, this is in research and development, you're going to look into a drug, a compound that may have some biological functions, and we can then ultimately use it as a drug. We test it in animals, of course, first in vitro, then in vivo, then we switch to clinical trials. We test that in different clinical phases, phase 1, 2, 3, etc. And then we are going to prepare a new drug application. If this is in FDA, it's for US FDA, and or we prepare a new drug submission or an MAA or marketing authorization application if we would like to register the product in the European countries. So what happens now is that it happens that before even submitting the new drug application or new drug submission, we would like to send more information because it takes time for the regulatory authorities to review the application. So we send in advance some information about the drug itself, and we call those packages of information that we send a few months or sometimes 1 or 2 years before we send the new drug submission or new drug application to regulatory authorities, and this is what we call a drug master file. Now, a drug master file is indeed a package that contains information related to the drug before the drug is on the market and before even we send the submission to regulatory authorities to review the drug submission application and to register that and to allow us to market it. So what is the structure of DMF? The structure of DMF is exactly the structure of, again, a new drug application or new drug submission. However, don't forget that when we are talking about this structure, which is coming from ICH M4, and that we call that the CTD or Common Technical Document. The modules in Common Technical Document, we have 5. Module 1 is about the administration information. Module 2 is related to the summary of information that we will see in Module 3, 4, and 5. In Module 3, we have information about the quality of the drug. Oh, we understand now that indeed, when we are having a drug master file, we will need to have minimum modules 1, 2 through 3. However, we may have some information that we would like also to send to Health Canada, for example, or to FDA. In this case, we will now create again a package that we call a drug master file. However, and that's what we are going to see, is that in Canada you have several types of drug master files, and we are going to go over that as well. But let's first go over the US drug master file structure, which is in eCTD, and we are going to look into different modules that exist. And these are the modules where we have to prepare regulatory documents and then to add those into those modules and submodules, and then to compile that CTD into eCTD by using an eCTD software, and then to submit the drug master file to the US FDA through the electronic submission gateway, which is a web portal. Okay, so on the top left side, I am showing you the structure of a drug master file CTD for the US. So when we open that and you see the numbers, that's because you may have not again 000, you may make some amendments or changes into the content of a few files because things have changed, a supplier has changed, information about the REMS or risk evaluation mitigation strategies has changed, something about the excipients has changed. So we will have amendments or changes. So we will send the drug master file at different versions. So here, the 000 that you see is the version 0 of the drug master file of your product. Next time, if you're changing an excipient or you just change the supplier, for example, you will need to update the drug master file. You're going to now have it again called version 1. So it's going to be the name will be 00001, and obviously the consequent documents will be also changed before submitting that eCTD to US FDA. Now, what goes into module 1 of this drug master file? As you see, US FDA, they have 5 modules in their drug master file. That's how they do their business. So in module 1, we will see that we have US, and we see that they are having several forms to be completed. So now we understand that we are going to have several forms depending on the change that we have on for the drug master file. So those changes, they are going to be changed, and then we are going to complete them and add them into the submodules. Now, for again module 1.2 of the drug master file for the US FDA, we have the cover letter. We add it in a PDF format. Then for module 1.3, we do have several again of these different submodules with the documents that we have to prepare. So now you understand that the structure of the drug master file eCTD for the US FDA is the one that I'm showing you. Now allow me to go back to again module 1.4, where we look into the references, and for the module 1.4 we have submodule 1.41 through 1.44, where we look into the letter of authorization, we look into the again statement of rights of reference, we have the list of authorized persons to incorporate, etc., and cross-reference to previously submitted information. So for those who are familiar with the structure of the eCTD, they can see, and one can see obviously, that there is a difference in between the structure and the required regulatory documents in module 1 for different submissions. We know that for a new drug submission for Health Canada, the structure of module 1 is different from the new drug application module 1 for US FDA, or module 1 for again for the marketing authorization application for EMA. They are different, while module 2 through module 5 are identical. So I continue with module 1 for in the drug master file for the US. We have the application status. Now we are having several submodules as well. As you see, these are inactivation requests for the drug. We have the withdrawal of an IND, for example. Here we have the reactivation request for the application, etc. So as you see, again, these are all different from the structure of module 1 in other applications, because we are talking about the drug master file. Now we have information for the meetings, if we need anything for the fast track, if of course any of these submodules remain empty, this is normal, it's okay. We are not going to have necessarily all of the submodules completed. It will depend on the type of application, type of changes, type of submissions as well. For the drug master file, this is the same case. So now we have again other module 1 submodules. So special protocol assessment, pediatric administration information, we have dispute resolution, etc. And it goes down to again module 1.20. Now you may say, okay, what is next in the structure of drug master file for the US FDA? Very similar to other applications. However, we do not dispose, or we are not going to have each and every submodule of module 2, because this is, as I already mentioned, this is about the drug master file, and we are not looking into too many information. Everything will be related to risk evaluation mitigation strategies, to the excipients, to the what else, for example, to the products, to the substance, to the manufacturing, to the colors that we use in the production, for example, to the packaging, to the closure systems as well. So all of the information, okay, we may not want to change everything at the same time. This is why we will prepare regulatory documents, and then we are going to add those documents into relevant subfolders or submodules, and we then, when we finish the CTD, we compile it into eCTD, and then we submit that through the electronic submission gateway of US FDA. Now here again you can see we have again the introduction for module 2, which is the summary. We have the quality overall summary, and of course here you can see the names of several of these documents that we have to prepare, all in PDF obviously, and then submit it. Then here we have the non-clinical overview. We have in module 2.5 clinical overview, if applicable, if that's a drug master file and we don't have again clinical overview yet, it happens, we don't add the information here. And then we have the non-clinical summary. As you see, we have the pharmacology, pharmacokinetics, about the toxicology, for example, and then we have the clinical summary reports, so summaries on the efficacy, on the safety, on pharmacology, on individual studies, etc. So it's very comprehensive. Now in module 3 of the drug master file for the USA, we are having obviously the body of data and the literature reference. But when we look at the body of data, we see that I'm just going to expand these columns. We see that again here we are mainly focused on the drug itself. So we may not have each and every of the, we don't need each and every of the sub-modules for module 3. So here, again, as you see, it's a type of abbreviated new drug application. But again, we cannot call that an abbreviated new drug application. We call that a drug master file because it's specialized for any change or any information that you would like to share with FDA, if this is for the US FDA, before submitting our new drug application. Now, same thing applies to the drug product. You know very well that we deal with or we give information about the substance of the product, and then we talk about or we give information related to the tests for the product which has the substance plus excipients. So here we'll have, for example, tablets, okay? So here we are going to have description and composition of tablets, pharmaceutical development, the manufacturing. So you see here we have the batch formula, the control clinical steps, manufacturing process, manufacturers, process validation. Then we have the, again, excipients. We have excipients 1, excipient 2, excipient 3. For each excipient, we have to have one of these submodules. So in module 3 to P4, now we have excipient 1, we have excipient 2, excipient 3. In each of those, we have to put regulatory documents related to the analytical procedures, justification of specifications, specifications themselves, and then validation analytical procedures. Then we continue with, again, the drug product. So here, same thing, we are talking about the specification. And then about the, again, the analytical procedures. We may have several, not one. This is where we are having or adding information about analytical procedures. The same thing applies to the system closure, closure process. So the closure system as well, we may have 2 or 3, for example. We are going to add those as well. But for the analytical procedures, we may have even more than 5 or 6 different procedures. Everything must be well documented, proofread, of course, and then added into this section. And then we also have validation analytical procedures. the batch analysis, we have the characterization, the impurities, and of course the justification of specifications. Then in module 3 to P6, we have to give the reference standards. These are references that we use in order to test that our product is similar or identical to the reference. That's why we need to have, of course, to specify our reference as well. And then this is for the container closure system. Do we have one? Do we have several? We are going to give information here about the container closure systems. Then we also have another module, module 3 to P8 for the product, which is about the stability. So here we have the summary of the stability, we have the data for the stability, and we have the post-approval stability documents. Now, for continuing with module 3, we have the module, again, 3 about the regional information. This is about the region, so the area. And then we have information about the drug substance. So for the drug substance, for example, here we can just talk about the, again, general properties, about the nomenclature, about the structure. So here we can talk about control critical steps, control of materials, manufacturer, manufacturing process. So as you see in a nutshell, I'm just going to show them to you. What we see here is that overall, when we would like to share some information about the product or the substance, or about the packaging, about the procedures, about again, analytical tests, anything, any change, any information in advance, we use this CTD backbone for the drug master file. So we submit information before we submit our new drug application to US FDA. So this is what you can see. Now, obviously, we can also look into module 4, where we may, but not always, but we may also have information about different studies that we did for pharmacology, toxicology, etc. And then for module 5, any clinical studies, if it's applicable. But again, we talk about the drug master file here, where we are talking about information that we want to share before we submit our new drug application to US FDA. Now that we looked into the US FDA, now let's go over Health Canada, because this is also a very important and again, very important agency. Of course, we are very busy, and there's thousands of new products as well. This is also the gateway to the US. So many countries, they come first to Canada. They do their studies, clinical research, even for manufacturing as well. And then they will then start to, of course, reach the American market, which is, of course, usually the next step in their business. But usually, many companies, they come through Canada. So now that we talk about Canada, let me go over the drug master file types that Health Canada accepts. Indeed, in the USA, US FDA, they just have one drug master file structure, the one that I showed you. However, in Canada, it's much more specialized, and it's much more easier, of course, for again, companies to prepare, and for the Health Canada reviewers to review those different types of submissions. So we have, for example, drug master file type 1. This one we don't use anymore, but this is what we have been using before year 2000. In year 2000, Health Canada stopped to ask or to accept drug master file type 1, because the information is now embedded into other forms when we are preparing our new drug submission for Health Canada. But before, and again, just to cover that as well, we were having information about the site and about different procedures. So all of the standard operating procedures, etc. So we can still see in all submissions drug master file type 1 in Health Canada. Now you may want to know what was inside or what is inside. As you see, we don't have module 4 or 5 because we are dealing with the drug itself. So for module 1, we are having different submodules. For correspondence, we have the cover letter, life cycle management table, copy of Health Canada issued correspondence, Health Canada associated information, meeting information, etc., etc. Then the table of content, then the administrative information, product information, Health Canada summaries, environmental assessment statement, regional clinical information, and clinical trial information. So this is what we see in Drug Master File Type 1 for Health Canada, where we are again using the Common Technical Document backbone as per ICH M4. And again, Module 1 has all of this information. Now you may say, where you find the content or the structure of Module 1? You have to go to Health Canada website. They have an excellent site, organized, very easy to find information. And you can find a document related to how you are going to make the structure of Drug Master File, which is the one that I'm showing you. So for a Drug Master File Type 1, as per Health Canada documentation, we are having Module 1 with all of these sub-modules. We have Module 2, where we have only the quality overall summary module, okay, that we are going to add. And then we have Module 3, which has a table of content, obviously, but also the body of content. So as you see again, we are the Drug Master File for Health Canada, Drug Master File Type 1. It doesn't have all of the sub-modules as per ICH M4, because this is just used for giving some information to Health Canada before we submit our new drug submission. Now inside, of course, we have different, again, modules and sub-modules. Obviously, I'm just showing them to you. I opened them to show them to you. We have a drug substance. Okay, so the general information, the manufacturer information, the characterization of the product, then control of the substance, reference standards, container closure system, as well as the stability. So here you remember that we also went over the same, almost the same requirements for a US FDA Drug Master File. So here the same thing applies, because again, as you understand and you know very well, we are dealing with Module 3. So as I already mentioned, Module 1 is regional, Module 2 through Module 5, they are international. It's everywhere we have the same modules. However, again, you may want to decide what type of information you're going to add into your Drug Master File before submitting that to Health Canada. This is why you can see that if you see Drug Master File Type 1, for Module 3, you have only two of, again, these sub-modules, okay? Even if, of course, it needs, of course, more granularity, okay? You see that this is, again, more granular, and we are adding more and more in-depth information. Now, coming back to Drug Master File, let's go over Drug Master File Type 2 for Health Canada. Okay, Type 1, we saw that we have 3 modules, and we looked into detail what are the information that we have to add into those modules for Drug Master File. For Module 2, we are going to see that we don't have Module 2 here, okay, for Drug Master File, sorry, Type 2. We have only, again, the Module 1 and Module 3. And why we have it this way? That's because here for Drug Master File Type 2 for Health Canada, this is only for active pharmaceutical ingredient and manufacturing details. So we don't need to put Module 5 or Module 4 or Module 2. This is just information about the pharmaceutical ingredients and the manufacturing details. Now, so I find that very intelligent and very efficient way of working. And then we have now for Health Canada Drug Master File Type 3. So here we see that again we have Module 1, obviously. We need to have, again, several of these regulatory documents as well, very similar to other Drug Master File types 1 and 2 for Health Canada. We also have table of content, we have the administrative information. Again, we are going to use the same, very similar regulatory files. But then in Module 3, we see that we are again having the body of data, which is related to the drug product. And here we have the control excipients and excipients X, excipients Y, excipients Z. So now we understand that when we are talking about the drug master file type again 3, we are looking into the body of data and the structure that we saw. Now we can also look into drug master file type 4. So here, for example, we have again module 1. It's very similar. We have module 2, the quality overall summary, and then we have module 3 with the body of data and the appendices, drug products, regional information, etc. Then we have a drug master file type 5. This is mainly about module 1, of course, we have it already, it is very similar, but it's mainly about the REMS or risk evaluation and medication strategies. It's mainly about, as I already mentioned, it's about the toxicology studies, okay, toxicology related to the product as well. So we still have again module 1, 2, and module 3. And here in the body of data, we are going to embed the information related to toxicology, for example, in the regional information, drug product, of course, and of course, the appendices. Okay, so in a nutshell, we just saw together again the structure of the eCTD for a drug master file. We understood that for a drug master file, this is not a submission for a drug registration. This is a type of submission, a type of sharing information related to the product with regulatory authorities before we are looking into submitting our new drug submission. And for Canada, we have again 5 types of drug master files. They are much more specialized in content, and for again type number 1, we don't use it anymore. We still, if you work in Health Canada, for example, and if you have become a scientific reviewer, you're going to see that yes, many companies, they are still making drugs, they are still having again those drug master files type 1, but nowadays, I mean, we are using the type 2 through type 5, and this is just for having a more efficient way to review the content of the drug master file. Okay, so I just wanted to go over the structure, of course. Now on the right side, we do have several documents. I'm just going to try to show you those documents that we have. Okay, not here, okay. So for example, for drug, Health Canada 1, for example, for module 1, again, you have the correspondence, you have the table of content. So we can look into the table of content for module 1, where we can open that. And again, from here, we can also, yes, we can also see, for example, in the table of content, what information we are going to add. So here again, we will be able to see what type of information we can add in the table of content. Just going to make it larger so that you will be able to see that in the video. Okay, and then here, if you would like to refer to Health Canada, we are going to see, for example, that for drug type 2, for example, here we have module 1, we have module 2, module 3. For module 2, for example, I click here, we have quality overall summary, so it's 2.3. So we are going to see that we have in 2.3 the quality overall summary, but inside, of course, this folder or sub-module, we have to add all of this information that we have here. So if you would like to look into this type of information, obviously you can easily just open any of these 2.3s, for example, 2.3s, which is however, quality overall summary is here. So here, for example, this is a quality overall summary document. This is the one that we have to prepare, and we are going to add this into this sub-module if we are looking into drug master file type 1, for example, or in drug master file type 2 as well. We can look into, oh, we don't have module 2 here. I missed that point. So let me see if we have the module. Okay, perfect, we have it here. So for example, for drug master file type 5, we are having 3 modules, module 1 and module 2 and 3. Now in module 2, we have a module 2.3 where we have to add the information, which is the regulatory document related to the drug, to the quality overall summary. And that quality overall summary is the document that I'm showing you here. As you see, it's a large document. It's an example that is given by Health Canada. Of course, this is a public information, this one. And then what we see is that this is a type of regulatory documents that, again, we have to prepare. Of course, what you see in gray, they are redacted just for protection of the confidential information, so we cannot see them, of course. But the document itself is just an example of a regulatory document that we prepare for module 2, submodule 3. So in a nutshell, and I'm not going to go over, of course, each and every of the documents here, because the aim of this presentation was mainly to talk about the drug master files. And of course, I just wanted to show you just one example or 2 examples of the documents that we add in the drug master file. But overall, for a nutshell, we see that the drug master files, when they are submitted before the final new drug submission, new drug application. We know also that they are not containing all of the information about the clinical trials or about animal studies. It's mainly about the product. It's mainly about the packaging, about toxicology, about excipients, about the manufacturing details or site information. Now for the US FDA, everything is just in one package. For Health Canada, we are having specialized packages. We call them Drug Master File Type 1 package down to or up to Type 4, 5 package, in order to find out the structure or the structure of the folders, or I would say submodules of the CTD. You have to go to Health Canada website and look into the requirements of Health Canada for all of the drug master file preparations and submissions that you're going to make and send to Health Canada. So thank you so much for your attendance. I hope that you enjoyed today's lecture. Stay all well.